So, see we have a Jake, he's running and he's leaving scratch marks. This allows you to actually track where that survivor's going. So, you just keep chasing him, and then as you hit him, you're gonna actually wipe your weapon and go into a cooldown. It's up to you to track the blood spots you see on the ground, and to lead to where you need to go. So, you see the blood spots go straight into the locker, you know he's in the locker. Now, everything about this game is tracking, and there are perks to remove certain parts of the tracking process. So, there are some perks that will remove scratch marks, there are some perks that will remove blood, and there are some perks that will remove outright sounds. So, keep an eye for that. If you see breakable walls, get rid of them. They're awful. You see, we have found the rest of the survivors. Now, I could chase them, however, this gen is almost done. So we are going to want to pick the gen. This doesn't apply if you have Ruin or some other perk like Surge. But your main focus is to keep the gens from actually being done before you even kill the survivors. This way, when you actually have the progress that you have, you should be able to hold the fort down before they can pop the exit gate out. Pallets are like one of the few lines of defenses. The other ones are windows. So you see, this is a nasty L-wall, T-wall. So you have to figure out how to run this properly. So double backing can prove to actually go back and get the survivor off guard. Most of the chase mechanics in this game are reliant on just kind of mind gaming. So, so something to note is that you know somebody has been unhooked, right? So you know for a fact that the survivor that was just unhooked is already useless, as they have to go and get healed somewhere. So the best thing to do, and the thing that gets you the most pressure, is to be able to go after the person that just unhooked, like that. This way, you now have an easier down later without having to tunnel and cause issues for you in the endgame. So, you can hear this Dwight healing right here, and you can use these sounds to be able to track. Sometimes survivors will fake the window, just make sure you're paying attention to what happens.
No, not the basement.
Basement is the greatest way to get pressure, because survivors have to get themselves completely out of specific, like they have to completely go out of their way to get to the basement. So, as Trapper, I'm going to tell you basically how to properly trap the basement. So, what you want to do is trap it to where they cannot get in or out of the basement. So, that corner trap is like one of the best traps for catching survivors that are not paying attention. So, alright, I'm gonna need one of y'all to try to go save them in a second.
Okay.
Like, please.
There you go. And as you see there, that is a prime example of a trap that will catch somebody completely off guard. Yep.
Hey y'all.
So,
I just been down in the basement.
now your trap placement is everything, because there is a chance that the survivor, if they're smart enough, can walk around the traps if not placed properly. But,
also, you should mention how people can dead hard through traps.
yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh.
And you see, this corner trap is a very nasty trap for catching people that are not paying attention. They will go, run right through it, and then bam. It's a great trap for catching people off guard. So now, you have 3 traps that you have to try to avoid. Now, something you can do as a survivor is you can untrap the survivor fast enough for them to get both through, and then you take the protection hit shortly after. So,
Yeah.
in that case, he took the protection hit right there and was able to get both you out. This is the way to escape Basement Trapper, but Basement Trapper is still horrible to go against. Alright, now I'm going to tell you guys how to properly trap loops, because you guys are not trapping loops properly by just shoving a trap right in the middle of the pallet. So I need a willing subject. So, you see this trap is useless. You could slide over this, and then watch what happens when I break it. Absolutely embarrassing. You do not want this to happen. The proper way to trap a loop, and I will show you how, and this will not work on every survivor, but is to trap in an angle that you are not expecting. So, you know that people are going to be looping around this car, right? And then you're going to run them like this, right? They're going to expect the trap right there at the pallet, but they're not going to expect it right behind here. Therefore, you can get an easy down like that. So. Alright. Another thing is placement of traps is everything. Now, I'm going to show you a trap placement that you would think would work, but is not going to work. So, here, Dwight, I'm going to need you to fast vault this window. Let me put it right here. I need you to go and do a full fast vault over this window.
Okay. Excuse me.
You see that? He jumped over the trap. So, whenever fast vaulting, you gain enough speed to actually jump over the trap. You do not want to place it that close to the window. You want to place it a little bit away from the window, like so. Now, could you go ahead and vault that window again? Alright, so we see there that gets him trapped. So it's important to know that, because it is very easy to, as a new trapper, to just want to hug the wall there. Now I'm going to show you something also kind of funny. So, let's do this. Let's do this way. So the same thing can happen with the slow vault. Alright, so I want one of you guys to slow vault that window. See? You are not trapped. So, depending on how you trap, if the survivors know how you are trapping the windows, they can actually avoid these window traps. So you have to find a middle ground to where you're close enough to the window to get the slow vaulters, but you are far enough away to get the fast vaulters. You see, you cannot avoid that trap now. So, the last thing, and probably one of the strangest ways that you can actually get traps to work, is to put them in some spots and act stupid. Yes, this is an actual, like, legitimate way to go ahead and get survivors. So, what you're going to want to do, and I'm going to need a willing volunteer. Oh. Kit Kat. Oh, yeah. Kind of what you want to do is you want to whiff an attack, but to lead them away from a certain spot. So, alright, let me go ahead and hook Kit Kat real quick, because I don't think he's dead. Alright. Go ahead and save him. Alright, so watch this. I'm going to go after you, I'm going to whiff the attack, and you're going to run. That's a way to make the survivor focus on the hit instead of the actual trap that's ahead of them. It makes the trapper look dumb for a split second, and then you realize he's doing a 5,000 IQ play. Alright. That there. This time you want it to be as close as possible. Now, there's no way that they can get around this. There's a trap right here, and I want somebody to disarm the trap while someone also vaults through a loop.
Wait.
Yeah, go ahead, Kit Kat, disarm the trap. And there you go. That's how to safely clear a loop. It's disgusting that you could do that, but as long as you're in the disarming animation, the trap is not a bad trap. So.
Yes!